Welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast with author Sarah F. Hathaway and co-host Chen Gibson. Blending survival, fiction, and fact to bring you entertaining education that will help you dream, survive, and thrive. And now, here's your host, Sarah F. Hathaway and Chen Gibson.
What is up? Welcome to the Changing Earth podcast. Hey, Chen, what's up?
Hey, Chin's up. Nothing much, man. We're just sitting back, drinking margaritas.
Yeah, just chilling, you know. Well, guys, we got back on the air. we missed February. And then we missed week 1 of March. So, but we're here.
Week 1 was like day 1. Well, it's day 2.
It was. It literally was.
I even flipped the calendar page over.
I know. I was at work. Same. I'm like, well, where did that go? And one of my buddies was over and he's like, don't you have like a podcast to do? I'm like, oh my gosh. Where did February go? What even happened here? So, this is episode 490. We're here touching base, today on area intelligence, but I'm going to give you the heads up right now. We're going to be squirreling a lot. So if you are really, really serious about your area intelligence, because this is a super important show, Mike Shelby is the guy who has the best.
Go to Amazon, look up the Area Intelligence Handbook by Mike Shelby, and buy a copy for you. I actually got a copy for me, got a copy, and I gave it to my sheriff.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I mean, he's a good sheriff. He's not a bad sheriff. So, I mean, that's how much it's a great book.
Yeah. And Mike's a great guy as well. I mean, he's a phenomenal gentleman. So, definitely don't mind promoting him, his work, really good stuff.
He's the Forward Observer, group.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have a YouTube channel, news, members, emails and whatnot. I don't know if he'll be back out of prepper camp this year.
I'm not sure.
But,
He hasn't been because there's been conflicts in schedule. I'm not sure about this year.
Yeah, I'm liking this year's schedule, guys. It's changed up. August 13th, 14th, 15th is this year's schedule. I like it because it works with the school schedule. I was worried with Christian going into high school, what that would look like. But I was over to the event location twice this past week. Well, that's another reason why I'm so busy. Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
So I was over there a couple times. It's just so cool.
I'm excited.
We have this secluded part for prepper camp, and then the facility also has a little bit further away, but has like restaurants and shops and all.
How nice is that?
Property, but,
I feel like we're getting spoiled this year.
It's just crazy. So there's a general store, like a real general store.
Yeah. Hotels and tons of places to stay, but you can still camp if you want to.
Yeah.
Tons of RV slots.
They're going to have an awesome tent city. I saw a bunch of RV spots, cabins. I know the last place we went to didn't have a lot of cabins. Here we got a good selection of cabins. We have a hotel on site.
2, right?
Crazy.
Yeah. 2. The one has rooms that like open to the outside, and one has room that open to the inside.
Yeah.
And
then we have
restaurants.
They're making arrangements for shuttle buses.
A bar.
This is like going to Walt Disney World.
Shuttle bus. I was gonna just take my van and like have people pay me and take them back and forth. I figure I'd make some extra coin.
They'll have a big tip jar.
Yeah, that's right. And I've been looking into one of those robo.
I know what you're going to be.
The robo carts.
Loudspeakers. You'll be playing your audio drama on the loudspeaker.
Oh, I will be. And the Changing Earth music. If you haven't checked out the music I'm making, so much fun. Yeah. So that's over at the Changing Earth series. Look up the soundtrack. And, I've just been, like I say, kid in a candy store. So yeah, all the music that I'm designing as well. So that'll be going. I'm just really looking forward to it. It's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Ton of fun. I'm trying to talk Brock into getting one of those like robo carts, so it's easy to take the books around. It's like a cart that like is self-propelled, kind of. Because he's always carrying books around for me, and I feel bad. So he's like, if I got to bring down one more thing of books, I'm like, we're out of this one, So a little bit bigger haul this year, but we could drive the van down in. I'm super excited. It's going to be so much fun. And we can expand capacity because of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, this is the year. If you haven't been, it's going to be
call
sick.
and make your lodging reservations. Whatever way you want to go, call in and make your reservation.
Right. Get your tickets, get a place to stay, and then you're all set. Because everybody's like, oh, I got my tickets.
The lodging's not spread across the county like it was before.
Right.
Between bed and breakfast, Airbnb, and everything.
Yeah.
Now we have a pretty good amount of lodging right there on site.
I think Saturday night's going to be better because, Brad's going to be playing, which is always awesome, 5 times August. And you're so much closer, right? You don't have to, people that are staying off site. There's no off site. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be much better as well. So preppercamp.com,
we're on a lake
guys.
again, so we still have a lake, so we still have that going.
Oh, the discounted tickets?
No, the event
is on a lake.
Is around the lake, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we still can do our fishing and everything. I love it. We're getting totally spoiled this year. I'm going to be telling stories of like, year one that I was there. And we got flooded out. We had to walk uphill both ways to get our books down here. Uh-oh, Amber Alert.
Oh, my goodness. I don't think she's had enough time with me, so now she's like underfoot all the time. She's in the other room and I got the door closed.
Yeah, you got to let her in. She's like, Sarah is in there. I know it. You're talking to her. So down in Texas, spring is actually, we've been blessed. It's like, it's coming already. My peach tree is already blooming. I'm going to have peaches soon and all that. So that's what's on my agenda. Eggs like crazy. My babies are finally laying. That coop worked out slick. It is the best design ever for a chicken coop. I did concrete on the bottom so it can just be hosed out. But they have this huge dirt yard, because everybody's like, oh, having your birds on concrete, whatever. But here there's so many mice and the red ants that I had to do something to combat, give them a peace space that I could control, And usually you're walking in all this muck and everything. It's great. Mm-hmm. I'm just sold. So if anybody wants to hit me up about that chicken coop, feel free. It was very inexpensive. It's just a dog kennel and then PVC and chicken wire. So, inexpensive.
You need to write a book on the Texas chicken kennel.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was a challenge. Everything in Texas is a challenge. You grew a garden. I grew gardens in Michigan. I grew gardens, in Cali. Like, we had huge gardens. Out here, you grow sand. It's like,
you grow sand.
Yeah. You get it all like together. It's just looking great. Boom. Sand just explodes. It's really crazy. So, maybe it's that Sahara. We get the Sahara that blows in the sand from the Sahara Desert,
It blows that much sand in?
I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's like living on a beach or something, but the beach is hours away. It's insane. So, other than that, too, I've been training, Krav Maga. I don't like the word. I'm really bad with it. So, but it is, phenomenal. I've been training with a gentleman who, is a phenomenal instructor. So found another great mentor here in Texas. I've been blessed my life to have incredible mentors. And you want to talk about taking, just your personal safety, your ability to defend yourself next level. that's where you need to go. You need to find a good instructor. There's always good instructors and bad instructors, but I'm having a ball training craft. So that's been 4 days a week there training, and then trying to get the gardens ready and doing all the videos. If you guys haven't checked it out, Changing Earth audio drama, the videos are turning out really, really cool. It's kind of like a storyboard through the show to give a little matter to the audio drama instead of just watching nothing on YouTube. And now I'm just really time consumed with it. The pilot script was picked up by a production company, so it's a good first step in the right direction. There's a lot of steps we still need to take before Changing Earth series comes to your TV screen, but it's great to have had that step. And any support you guys can give me, liking, sharing content, get on over there, like and share videos, that kind of stuff, just lets people know that you guys want to see Changing Earth on the TV screen. So appreciate everything that you guys can do for me on that level, because we're moving forward. I'm pretty excited about all that. So, all right, area assessment. So you have been busy doing other stuff. Let's kind of talk about what you're into right now, because that's a good catch-up topic anyway.
I mean, like you, I moved to a new area, right? Not recently, but we're finally starting to get our feet like in a pattern going. So I've been trying to build a network of people and not really influence, like, you know, bow down to me, but influence where like people know of me, or if I walk in to talk to somebody, I can actually like have a conversation with them, that they'll pay attention. You know, it's not just the blow off. So I've been doing things like we started the CERT team here in our county, and that's through the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
So that gives us, you know, I can call the sheriff on his phone, and he knows me when I call, and we, you know, I mean, I'm not high up on his list, but I'm enough that he knows me by name.
Right.
And he would take a call from me, and, you know, I don't abuse it, but that's a good thing to have, right? And like I said, this book, I'm sure he gets all kinds of threat tape, you know, reports and everything else. But this book, I gave him Mike's book because I figured it would be a way for him to look at it from a different angle. You know, the more you can learn, the better off you are, right?
Right.
So
the better.
And I've been
just assured you are, because you've thought through different angles. That's what we're all about, right?
So, like, I joined the local ham club and getting in with all the radio guys, and I talk to everybody, no matter where I am. I talk to them about radios because it's a way to A, get in front of them and have a conversation, and B, get my community better prepared. We all know what it's like to be without a cell phone, especially if you go through one of the major
yeah.
Here.
After Helene, everybody kind of got that lesson loud and clear.
I play off of that. So that, and then I've also, I've done a lot of stuff with the local elections, right? So I got in with my county board of elections, and I've got in with the party that I'm affiliated with. So again, you're meeting more people. Like, you meet a lot of business people at the monthly meetings for the political party, right? So you can get to know people and get to share information back and forth with them. So all that has been my way of trying to build out a spider web of information. And I can also get, if I need something done, they can help me find somebody to execute whatever I need done. Right. So,
right. That's important.
With Prepper Camp, I've been working so hard to do METT-TC in my county. Right. So I was talking to the people at the facility about putting a repeater up there. Oh, huh. It'd be great for Prepper Camp to have a repeater.
But they're pretty high up, aren't they, too, as well? So that's a good spot.
If it works well, I might entertain just leaving it there. If it doesn't work well, then we'll just use it for Prepper Camp and move on. But if it works well, I mean, I already told them I get them a couple Mesh-tastic nodes so they can play with them. But
That's
to
cool.
get the solar repeater like we had at camp last year, I'm toying with that. But they already said that they have some locations I can go put it up at, so that's cool.
And for anybody who doesn't know, the CERT team is your community emergency response team. And, yeah, and a lot of communities, like I know in my area, there's already one established. So like you don't got to do what Chin did and go and create the wheel. You can go and just become a part of it. You're also doing a lot of stuff for your elections in your area, so don't sell that short. I think that's awesome.
I mean, I've done stuff like Poll Observer. So like your political party, whichever one you're in, whatever, but your political party can have people sit at a polling place and watch to make sure things are being done correctly, right? And watch for inconsistencies. And then you can't stop, you can't get involved, physically involved, but they typically give you like a phone number to call. Yeah. And then you can call
voice your concern.
And it's either with your county or the state. And then you could say this, you can make a report. You could say, I saw this, I witnessed this. And you can also tell in North Carolina, it's a chief judge. So the polling location has a chief judge, which is like the head manager for that location. And then 2 judges, and those are like assistant managers. And then they have like the people that work at the computers that check in and, check your addresses.
Right. Yeah. So, even doing that kind of thing will be cool as well.
So, you can tell if you see, like if you say, that person walked out with a piece of paper that they're not supposed to leave this premises with, or that person came in with a piece of paper and you can't stop the person, but you can go to the chief judge and tell them. So you can be involved in trying to make sure your elections go smoothly.
And be involved with your party. There's like a lot of elections that didn't have anybody running against them and stuff like that. So
just sitting there, like typing away on Facebook is not getting it done.
Right.
You got, I know. It was very discouraging that we only had like 24% of the registered voters vote.
We had a really big turnout
for this last.
We had a really big turnout in Texas. I don't know if it's because of.
You can't say I don't like the candidates. You either help get a candidate in that you like, or you have to hold your nose and pick the best of what's available.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, not voting just gives anybody, it's just throwing your one vote into the wind
away
and letting somebody, right. You got to pick the best of what's available. And if you're really proactive, either you or you find somebody in your community that would be a good person for that position.
Right.
And encourage them and support them and help them pass out literature and put yard signs out and all that stuff.
Well, that's the thing. There's some areas, like I say, that they run unopposed. And so those are actually sought after a lot of times because that's an easy in, right? And once you're in, then you can climb. You were like, oh, I already did this part of it.
Yeah. We had some people cross parties. They voted one way for years and years. And then all of a sudden this election season, they changed parties and they are George Washington would not approve of their basic lifestyles.
It's true. It's true. And it's easy to hijack.
They ran unopposed.
Right.
I cannot believe that the county party chair and the state party chair did not get involved and at least run more candidates, find candidates to run against
somebody. Yeah.
Because they ran unopposed. How can that happen?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I know. So that's why, it's important. That's all part of area assessment, right? To know what's going on in your county.
Yeah.
And don't just go vote, like research, actually like understand who you're voting for.
A lot of times
if I don't research, I don't vote for them,
Yeah, a lot of times each party has like leading like a month or two out, leading up to the event, they'll have like meet the candidates, right? They'll have like they'll do their little speech and they have at some banquet hall or something, and you can go watch them and talk to them and questions and answers, so you can meet them. I know when like growing up in a bigger city, they have like news stations that do it. Here in rural America, you have to go see them in person. Right. At whatever. That's cool though.
Yeah. I get like calls from my one guy who's like, joint. Yeah. I'm running in this area. I'm like, that's cool. One thing I do have to actually give to California, if you can believe it, is, we used to get an actual like booklet on what you were voting on, the candidates, pros, cons, all that kind of stuff, and then where you could go to get more information. And it was actually pretty thick. And I just thought that's how everyone did it. It was.
Was it data, or it wasn't like...
it wasn't like one side or the other pushed, which was really, really cool. That's why I say, I mean, I hate to like give, but I got to give credit where credit's due.
Well, the other thing... California is where CERT started.
Yeah.
So that's where it started.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot that happens there. We're actually preparing for catastrophe season right now. I'm in the insurance world. So it's time to start making sure we have everything on point and whatnot, because we're coming into the catastrophe season. Yay. We're actually hitting it right about now is the time in Texas when the big storms are rolling through, So we've been hitting that pretty much as well. But yeah, it's really important to know your area. A lot of times when I think area assessment, I go like personal self-defense, right? So my bubble's like super small. I'm like,
when you're doing area studies, you got to take off all those glasses, right? All those things that kind of you focus your tunnel vision, and you got to look big. You can't. A lot of preppers will look at this like, the 3 Bs, right? So that's what they're preparing for. But look at your area. The big thing that Mike talks about in his classes are look at your area. Really look at your area.
What's there?
Do you have like correctional facilities, or do you have a border, international border close?
Yep.
Or what crime? Syndicates do you have? Is it a gang, or is it a cartel, or
even on like a secondary level there? Like they did a lot of big crackdown in the cities here, like Houston and Dallas. And that pushed some of the crime out to the smaller cities.
Yeah. I know we're seeing that in my little rural area.
So then they have to crack down on those ones too. So that's something even, I wouldn't really think about.
With like the homeless and stuff. So the cities don't want to deal with it or don't want to see it.
Right.
So the easiest thing is, come on, get on the bus. We'll take you out
somewhere. You'll end up in rural America. You'll be so happy.
But I mean, you've talked about dams, right? Look for, is there a dam? Do you live in a coastal area and there's hurricanes every year? Or is there a fault line?
Chemical production. That's a big one. Did it happen in the past too? Because there's some areas where like they started building on top of, areas where they were mining something or, underneath the ground, they were harvesting some kind of chemical out, and then later it becomes an issue with the neighborhood that was put there, right?
And you can also look at what do you have for industry around in your community or your county or whatever, your region, and then try to do, especially now that with like Grok and all these internet searches.
You can do this stuff pretty easy now.
Look for similar industries and what emergency events, catastrophes do they have in that industry? And then you can look back to you and kind of say, okay, it hasn't happened here, but it did happen 5 states over. And this is what happened. And then you can study what happened, how they reacted to it, how do they respond to it, emergency response, and then do, after action report to kind of like say, if we did this, it would have been better than their reaction. You know what I mean?
Right. What did they learn from that experience?
We need to say, okay, the wind is blowing this way. You got to be on, or know, these roadways, or congestion, or is this a bottleneck here? How do people evacuate?
You might be far away from the incident. Well, what's the wind going to do with it? That's a big deal. Mm-hmm.
So look at what really is in your neighborhood, not the romantic, where you're just going to hunker down and
we're going to be able to stay here forever. Yeah. One of the things that I look around at is like, okay, if something happened and people are bugging in, where's all the water coming from if the taps turn off?
Yeah.
Right? Whose property has the water? Because they're going to be stuck in a defensive position, to try, and everybody's going to need water. So you can only store so much water, and then you're going to need it. So how long-term is your bug-in location?
And power. How do you get the water? Like, I live on rural property with a well, so as long as I have power, whether it's something I get off-site,
pump it,
like electrical power, or do I have power that I create on-site, right? I can get water out of my well.
Yeah. And we talked about like another well that had the hand pump.
Whereas my well goes dry.
Right. Well, that's
when I was a kid.
That's
growing up, we had a well, and a well went dry in the middle of winter. So my neighbor, every couple of days they would run a garden hose from their house to our house. And we'd fill up all the tubs and stuff.
Oh my goodness. So what a nightmare. Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good thought. We always thought about it when we were on a well also. We had a generator. But that's not going to be any kind of long-term, running.
It's funny how I think about water conservation now way more.
Yeah.
When I lived in the townhouse, it was conserving dollars, right?
Yeah.
How much money did I want to pay?
Yeah.
Now it's like, I don't want to overtax my well because there's not like a fuel gauge on my well where I could see, well, it's starting to run low, or we're in a drought, or what.
Fair.
It's just someday it'll
our
start.
Pump too, our pump would hop when it was under a lot of pressure. So the least that we could get it to hop, because then it would rub on its electrical cord, and then we're fixing, replacing, all that stuff. Yeah. I did think about it a lot more back there, for sure. We had the joyful experience of having all our septic tanks were full.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun.
Get that pumped once.
Yeah, so that's like, that was years and years of us living here. But it's something to think about.
I grew up with septic and a well when I was a kid. We had those, and then when I became an adult, I always had city, municipalities for the infrastructure, and now I'm back out to living with my own well.
They have those emergency toilets. They're just like the buckets, that you have a little toilet seat on it. You put the little chemical in there, la-di-da. Hey man, I wish I'd have had one. We have one in the trailer, right? So I was like, if worse comes to worse, we can just start going in the trailer. We got a guy out here pretty quick. But again, when something like that happens in the life of somebody who thinks about preparedness, you're like, oh, how long is long-term?
But that's something that you have to be, if you're not prepared, if you're prepared, it's an annoyance, but it's not like life-threatening or a major event. We were 2 weeks without power here at my house after the storm, after Helene. My wife didn't miss one day of work, and she teleworks.
Right.
Because we had things in place to take care of business, right?
And that gives you the ability to have the correct mental, too. Yeah. Like, you have to expect the unexpected and take things in stride. And I say that as somebody who's pretty, always a control freak, big time. And when little things went wrong, it used to really dishevel my world and emotionally disrupt me. And just understanding that, you're ready. You're going to be able to make it through anything. You're good. Jesus got your back, right? Allows you to take that pressure off, take your foot off that gas pedal a little bit. It's cool. We're going to handle it.
You make better decisions when you're not freaking out because of pressure.
That's it.
That's with, like finances, if you're not like underwater and you can make good decisions. If you have some kind of backup power or whatever, then you're not freaking out because the power company isn't, telling you when
doing
the power
their job. Right.
We've got a fireplace in the house. So like if power goes out in the middle of winter,
we're good.
I know I can, we're not going to freeze. My pipes aren't going to freeze. My plumbing's not,
Yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah.
I learned that's an important thing even in Texas.
This all plays well. What we're saying is actual events, right? So during this class that we took, they did the likelihood matrix, right? So the impact matrix, where you draw a big box, you divide the box up into 4 corners, right? 4 quadrants. And then to help you understand what you have to prepare for, you do like in the bottom left, you'll do low impact and low likelihood. So if it did happen, no big deal, right?
Right.
And the likelihood of it happening, again, is no big deal. So then if you go to the top right quadrant, you would put high impact and high likelihood. So that's like, in my mind, that's like
these are like
storms.
Right.
Like storms at the coast.
These are things we are going through.
Yeah. You're going to have flooding. That you're going to, you could have a major storm. Every couple of years they have them, right?
Yeah.
And so that might be something. You might want to prepare for a hurricane and either, how do you evacuate? How do you secure your house? That kind of stuff. If you live in a hurricane zone.
You better.
Or tornado. How do you prepare for a tornado, right? That's the stuff you got to, you might want to put money into what are those tornado shelters where you go into the ground and survive it than you do in 5 ARs in the closet, right?
Right.
You might have to decide on where you spend your money. So doing a grid like that will show you if you're honest about it. Like, take the time and
how effective is your police force?
Yeah.
What's the
And you can put what's in each quadrant, so you'll have like the other 2 quadrants. The top left would be low impact, but high likelihood. So it's like summer, thunderstorms happen all the time, right? So there's a high likelihood that you're going to have a thunderstorm, but the impact, you're without power for an hour or 2 hours, because the power company can come. It's not a regional event. They can come. They'll fix, clear the tree.
You're going to miss a couple hours of work, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, fill the 4 quadrants out, and then you can actually start making, good decisions on how and what you need to do to get prepared. You're not just saying, oh, I read this prepper manual and it told me that I'm supposed to have, 10 weeks of food, of MREs. I'm supposed to have this count of ammunition. I'm supposed to have these 3 weapons, firearms, and, all this other okay. Everything has its place.
There's no one size fits all. Like,
look at us. We were at prepper camp during the storm, Helene. So all my preparations were not with me except for what I had with me that I was prepared for travel, right? So I had my
I'm always like, we need our go bags. And Brock's like, we don't need our go bags. I'm like,
as I drove home from that, I am looking at flooded out houses and everything else. And I'm like, I could get home and there could be nothing left of everything that I did. So, So you have to look at what the, what the actual emergencies are, what the actual threats are for your local area. And that's what the whole thing with the area study is. Don't just go in and say, Sarah down in Texas told me I had to do this, and you live in New Hampshire.
Right.
Well, Sarah probably might have every 10 years might have an ice storm, but you're going to have one 5 times, 6 times a winter, right?
Yes.
So there's things that you need to do. I know my grandfather growing up, he had 2 snowmobiles because they weren't toys. If they had to get out in the winter, that's how they went out to get groceries or went out to get gasoline or whatever they need to do,
Right. So, and I have no need for a snowmobile. Like at all.
Grandpa had them because he needed them.
Right. Yeah, that's the smart play instead of just, like you say, finding a list and being like, well, this is what I'm supposed to do.
There's plenty of lists online. Yeah. There's plenty of YouTube videos that'll tell you
exactly what you need. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so I really like the defining the spaces as well, because I do that on more of a local level for like assessing the risk to your immediate residents, right? You have your area where it's like yours only, and then the area where like public could enter if they're allowed. Right. So I like that, he kind of broke that down as well. The, operational environment is like everything. And then the area of operations, your life right now. So how far are your kids going to school? How far are you going to work? That kind of thing.
And you could actually have multiple area operate. You could have your home and your office. Well, for you, it's the same.
School.
Yeah. But your school,
Yep.
So
where am I when I'm at martial arts?
3 or 4 different. So you're going to want to know exactly around these locations.
Yeah. Where's the hubby going?
Yeah. The area operation is not like the whole state, right?
Right.
That's a different.
Yeah.
This is exactly, you need to plan for what's going to.
The local geographical areas that you frequent the most.
Yep. And what could affect that and what you could have to deal with in that.
Yeah. Brock's got like all kinds of trains that he has to pass on the way home, so that kind of thing.
And you could look to see, do some digging to see what's on those trains that they transport.
Right.
You might say, well, we might need a chemical a mask, a gas mask for this chemical.
And the vehicle. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. In the vehicle. Right. Because he might be able to drive home and, scrub down when he gets home and, decontaminate. But if he can't breathe, can he hold his breath that way?
Right. You only got 3 minutes without air. That's one of those 3
But
rules.
it's stuff like that. I mean, you might not think about, but you might have, like.
No, it's true. In Vegas, they're taking all kinds of nuclear through there and whatnot. And it's like right by the strip with like
who would think,
thousands of people. Yeah, right. You'd never think that. So that's a little crazy. Okay, and then the area of interest is the ring just outside.
Step out.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about with like, you might have this nuclear facility nearby, or a military base, or a major highway even. We do, the chemical facilities. I know they're big.
Your area of interest might be the alert zone for you. You might see activity start at facility had a jailbreak, right? So you could say, well, if that jailbreak, the easiest way of getting away from the jail would be to come the power lines that go behind my house. You might want to be on alert. If you're not home, call home, tell them to make sure to lock down, or tell them to go to mom's house or something, go to grandma's house and hang out there until we get the all clear, until we know everybody's captured. Either, hunker down or evacuate, but knowing what's in your area of interest could give you advance warning so that you have the time to prepare, as opposed to, just watching inside that 1 mile radius or 5 mile radius, whatever you choose for your area of operation, and just watching inside that. And then all of a sudden something blows into your area where you had no advance warning.
Yeah.
It's nicer to have a little.
That's one of the reasons why I wasn't too hippity hop on moving into, Tennessee. Because if something happened to the East Coast, there'd be so many people coming through there that I was like, I don't know. That's a really major thoroughfare, right? That comes off those mountains and goes into that area. So I was like, I don't know. I wasn't very hippity hop on it, but beautiful state too. So, and close to you guys. So that'd be better.
Yeah, but like you're saying, you got to know terrain, right? Physical terrain, the weather. We've already touched on those two. Human terrain. Like, what are the people on human terrain? With election seasons, is a really good time to look at who's got what yard sign up.
Fair.
You'll start seeing who's who. Am I surrounded by people that are voting alike, or do I have an oddball, 3 houses down that has a sign that's not similar to how I vote? And start marking that, writing that down. Have a notebook or whatever you need, however you want to do it.
The spy operation.
But it gives you advance notice, right?
That's true.
God forbid, like you're in some big red flag, where they have red flag laws, right? And you're going to want to know who's friendly and who's not friendly, because somebody could be, what's your sheriff like?
Yeah.
Your governance. They also talk about know your governance. So what are your county, your city council, your county town council? What are all those people like?
Yeah. What are they?
What's your sheriff like? And what's your chief of police like?
I can tell you that it's a lot different down in Texas than it is up in Minnesota. So that's definitely something that's going to be, different on your area assessment.
But have you noticed how much it's changing? Places it's like, well, there's a lot of country music bars here. It would never change. And
Ronald Reagan, right?
On the ballot. Holy smokes.
We're 2 generations away from losing our freedom. So it takes vigilance.
And that's a constant. That's not like, we made it through 2024. Yay.
Recent example.
Look at all the headwinds.
Recent example that everyone will know at this point is Iran. I mean, when I was born, it was a much different country than what it is now. That's 2 generations.
Oh, yeah. You see some of these videos about the 70s in Iran. It's like they had short shorts and everything else, right?
Right? Yeah. And everything. They were super advanced. They were a first world nation doing just fine. And then 2 generations later, they're oppressed and, living under the boot. So don't think it can't happen here. It's our vigilance as American citizens.
Look at some of the communities they're trying to set up in Texas.
Yeah.
In Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Because freedom reigns here. So it takes advantage of it, right?
Yeah, they learn the rules. Mm-hmm. They play on the edge of the rules.
Right.
Where they can, there's a gray zone right there where they play it hard.
Yep. Yeah, they're all for the minorities till they become the majority. Then there is no minority. Mm-hmm. All right, but that's neither here nor there. We could have a whole nother convo on that one.
Well, that's just talking about what's your political.
Yeah, and you should know. You should know what communities are around you. It's a lot different if it's an Amish community or a Muslim community.
Just know. I'm not saying you could like or hate one of those 2 sides, right?
Right.
That you just mentioned. It doesn't matter. But as long as you know for your household how you're going to deal with it, if the one that you don't like how they live starts to get more influence in your town,
in your area,
and you're also going to want to do what you can do to keep that other influence from gaining in your town.
Right. And that takes us being active, being aware, getting out there and making a difference.
Aha. So, Amber's got competition.
Yeah. Ragnar was like, something's going down out there. Mom, what are you doing? That's my area assessment. He's always assessing the area.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Dogs are awesome.
He's like 115 pounds now. He is the size of a miniature horse. He's 19, exactly the same size as my aunt's miniature horse, as my German Shepherd. He's a moose. Yeah. So, okay. So we talked about all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to get together with James and talk about, getting together a challenge or something that we can start doing a little bit more of the area assessment.
And the other thing, we've been talking a lot about threats. You also want to do your assessment to know what you have for positive assets.
Right.
What do you have for people that you can work with and like strong community, add to your community? What do you have for resources in your community that you can work with to help? Do you have a good fire department or a good volunteer fire department or a good CERT team or a good, volunteer police? I know the sheriff's department here is starting up like a volunteer sheriff's department.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff like that you can look for that are positive. What do you have for good off-grid comms in your community? Do you have a good GMRS repeater system or a good ham repeater or a good mesh-tastic? What can you do to help improve it?
Improve it. Yep.
It's not just a negative. Also look at the positive assets.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to. Every
all
day.
Part of your
every day.
Yeah. Areas. That's all part of your area study.
So my area is getting ready to grow like huge right now. So I know that's definitely on my radar. We have the city of Tyler is basically just outpouring right now. And so new shopping complexes and housing and tons of stuff going down. So it's like, well, okay, where does that take us in the future, So
I was there for almost 30 years in Charleston, and I watched this like 2-lane road that used to go down to the dump turn into, that's where on that road it gained to 4 lanes, and then it was over congested, and there was housing and developments and apartment developments. And by the time I left, I'm like, that's just crazy.
And the other thing too that I would think about, like, this is really hard to judge, but they found like lithium north of where I'm at. And so what does that mean? What does that look like on a future scape? What does that bring to the area?
Look at existing lithium mining facilities and look how that grows, because I'm sure you can research over time how long it took to get to what stage. And then look at what infrastructure was developed and everything else. Yeah,
and water usage with lithium mining is a big
that's
big
something
deal.
That, the lithium could be something that you could say, this is something. And then what do you have for dangers? What threats does the lithium mine create? What exposures? What kind of health threats? Does it carry stuff in the wind? Is that something you could be breathing?
Water usage.
There's a lot you could,
Yeah.
And that's the same with data centers too, right? Data centers with water usage and with energy use.
That's another thing they're doing here. Except Elon's getting ready to launch just thousands of satellites to be able to store all the data up there, which I think is a phenomenal idea. But
you don't have to worry about
crazy.
cooling.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because
you see, he started a phone. Like a cell phone service.
Oh, really?
And so it's going to satellites instead of to towers.
Instead of to towers. I mean, why not?
So the amount of dead, I guess he proved with the internet he can have contact, right? Connections. Right. And now that as they build out the infrastructure in space, they can add additional usage demands with cell phones. But he's doing a cell phone service now, like AT&T, Verizon. Now it's going to be like a Starlink or whatever he calls it. Starlink Mobile or something.
The other thing is, the only thing that bothers me about that is if he's got the whole thing, then
me too.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's a little concerning to me.
Because I have Starlink at the house, and they ran this stupid deal where they gave me a free Starlink mobile antenna thing, right? Antenna router. It's free for usage as long as I have the account, and I pay $5 a month added on to my original bill.
Right.
So of course I got that. So now, if I travel, I'm not dependent on AT&T or Verizon. I can do Wi-Fi calls with my phone.
It's so cool.
And then I've got my walkie-talkie, my cam radios are digital DMRS, and those patch into the internet. So I can talk through my radios or my cell phone through if I have my Starlink mobile with me.
She says as she's been experiencing internet problems all night.
I was talking through the lithium battery thing, and I saw you fell off.
Twice now.
What's
I appreciate that.
But I was saying that's like the perfect example of what's in your area.
Right.
You know that's coming, so research how that's affected other areas and neighborhoods because you could watch a timeline and see how what
progressed and what
did it do, positive and negative, what did it do to those areas, and then pull it back to see how it can affect you and what you need to do to plan for it.
Yeah.
Hell, you might need to say there's a bubble right there, and in 5 years of them opening that mine, it's like real estate is hot and heavy, right? And then, but in 15 years of them opening a mine, it's dirty.
That's true.
And they're starting to whatever. So you might not have the hot. So you might want to sell at a certain time. You might want to. We were going to sell. Let's just say we were going to sell the house in 5 years. Whatever. That was our game plan.
Yeah.
But you might say, "Oh, it looks like if I hold off for 8 years, that could be the sweet spot, and we could like double our money."
That's no shit.
So there's stuff like that you can watch what's happened to other communities and pull that back to your community to make plans.
Yeah. That's true. I like that. Okay, we all have homework to do.
Yeah.
You gotta research it. You gotta. It's not enough to just learn. It's the same as self-defense, you gotta know what's in the area. So. Amber's like, I'm getting in, Dad.
Where's Rag now?
Where's Rag now?
I got something to say.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and get on with some Changing Earth news. We got tons to talk about and catch up on.
Dream, survive, thrive. This is Changing Earth News.
All right, Changing Earth News. Been a while. So I've only been looking for like the really big things that had a really big impact, and we've had them. So that's what I'm looking for. I didn't want to bore everyone with running down everything that's been going on. We'll get to the volcano numbers later, but it looks pretty much like we are still above 100. I think we're at 104 last time we're on, so we're still sitting at the same type of area today, which is, that activity doesn't seem to be slowing, and we have some interesting things going on, as well, earthquake-wise. So let's jump into it. In January, we had, big old floods in the ASEAN region, 54 plus disaster events. And with volcanoes going on alerts there, that's over in Asia. So that was some big activity that was happening. Had a big impact, displaced multiple families. January 16th to the 23rd, Storm Harry hit Western Europe. There was about 390 plus deaths from that event. Damage was greater than $1 billion in damage. So that was a huge storm that came crashing in, Mr. Harry there. On January 18th, there was an X 1.9 class solar flare. But honestly, the last, January hit a little bit, as you can see, but we've been really quiet on the sun. It's been, really just kind of chill, with not even really a lot of big coronal holes going by. So, very interesting.
The sun said us humans are doing enough chaos. We could just sit back and relax a bit.
Right? Yeah, it's chilling. That always accompanies, human beings going a little mental crazy. So it's good that it can just chill out for a little bit. There was a big event in southern Africa, probably, flooding down there. It doesn't tell me what it actually was. 100 plus deaths, 1.3 million affected, but they're in their storm seasons down there. So, I know there was an event that came across Madagascar in there. Oh, that's in next month. So yeah, they're definitely down in storm season right now, and they always get a lot of rain. North American winter storm, Fern. I love that they always give all these storms names, really. Like everything needs a name now. There was 174 deaths involved in that one, though. Over 1 million power outages. That was the big storm we had in January, where it even got really cold down here in Texas. Then we go into February. We had 1st to the 7th, a couple of X-class solar flares. They were not directly Earth-facing. We did have some intense radio and satellite disruption from one of those, but again, not something that was going to be like, hey, everybody, this is the last episode of The Changing Earth you're ever going to see. February 1st, we had 24 inches of rain in Sao Paulo in one day, 35 deaths from that event, hundreds displaced. And again, what we're really looking for as the Earth keeps evolving from where it's at now is we're looking for more extremes because of the weakening of our magnetic shielding. It just kind of lets our weather do a little bit more crazy stuff. So that's what we're looking for when I say, like, I'm looking for unusual events. In Japan, coast, they had a serious snowfall, 30 plus deaths from that snowfall, 300 plus injured. Tropical cyclone Jazani hit on February 10th. That's the one that hit Madagascar. 59 deaths plus, 723 affected. Madagascar is like one of those coastal islands that is literally just taking the brunt of the storms coming in from Indonesia before they hit the coast of Africa. And so, they can bounce in between Africa and Madagascar sometimes. So there's some brave people over there. That's again, the type of situation where you know you're going to be hit with those storms. So you better be prepared for that coming on and not be like, oh, who knew we were going to get hit with another storm this year? What do we got? California storm came in the 21st to the 24th. They had a large avalanche up in Lake Tahoe. 9 people unfortunately lost their life in that event. And then they had the extreme whiplash. So this is what I'm saying. Extreme weather, 90-degree Fahrenheit record heat right after that. So I always tease that California is like a land of extremes. Like it's a light switch. It's just on and off and on and off. And it's got to be cold to rain, and it's less time it's hot. So they're dealing with a little bit of that right now. This is their season. It's just hot and cold. But again, the extremes is what we're looking for. February 26th, there was a big glacier collapse, which is pretty interesting. The glaciers, some of them are collapsing, some of them are growing. So you guys really got to do your research there before you just talk about like, oh, global warming's taking out our glaciers. It's actually just the movement of the planet, and this happens. The one earthquake that I found really, really interesting was there was a 4.9 earthquake in Louisiana, on the Louisiana-Texas border. And it's not because I'm near that area that I'm interested. It just hasn't happened there in a lot of years. That one did happen where they were doing a lot of fracking. But with the amount of activity that's happening on the Ring of Fire, and to see the West Coast just kind of stalled, nothing really happening there, is just eerie. Either it's being released enough through these little drill points and stuff, this constant activity is releasing enough, or it's building. And if it's building, that's a problem. So you can see the stress fracture coming down where it hit in Louisiana is at the very bottom of the North American craton that sits on the eastern side kind of the United States. It's like kind of from Yellowstone down to Texas and then back up to Maine. And, the New Madrid fault line is on the North American craton edge. So obviously that's why we keep a watch on that one. The earthquakes that happened on the New Madrid were just seriously insane to read about, like a month of these people just thinking the end was coming because dirt's just blasting out of the ground. the Mississippi ran backwards. Lakes were formed out of nowhere. Some areas went up like 2 stories in just a minute. It was, it's really crazy stuff to read about. As far as erupting volcanoes, we have 42 volcanoes currently erupting, which is still mind-blowing to me after watching these for so many years and being like, wow, 29 is so many. And that was just like 2 years ago. And now we've been riding that 42 for like a long time. So I'm interested to see it like move again, cause that was pretty cool. 33 volcanoes showing minor activity, 27 showing unrest for a total of 102. So we're still up over 100 volcanoes on our planet showing activity. One of the signs that I always look for is from an Edgar Cayce prophecy that, you know, if Vesuvius and Pele are going, then Nevada and the west coast of the United States better watch out. Pele is still on the list, but Vesuvius is nowhere near it. Campiflagre, the supervolcano in Italy, is still on it. And I can't remember the town. It's on one of the islands. Oh, man.
The South Sandwich Island?
No, I want to say like Sicily. It's definitely in the Mediterranean. But they have just been losing like a ton of land. Their whole one side of their city is just like falling off.
Yeah, I saw pictures of that.
Right?
Yeah, like the town just is falling off the cliff.
Yes. It's just going. Then it falls like their major road is down there at the bottom. So everything's falling down on the major road.
You see like a cutaway of this apartment complex and there's a car still in the garage because the earth is all falling away.
Right. It's just boom. It's insane. And we're talking like a mile long, you know, area that's just being. So, you know, the earth is on the move, when you're seeing stuff like that happen. That's because that's been there for hundreds of years, you know. Okay. As far as earthquakes, December, there was 20,363 total that were 2.0 or bigger. We went up in January. We had that solar activity. We went up to 21,130. But in February, we're down big time. We went down to 17,211. So, and I haven't really seen the solar activity uptick, to push those numbers. We'll see what March does. There, like I say, there's been some biggies already, and we're definitely eyes wide open. But if that solar energy stays pretty chill, I don't think we'll have too many problems. Alrighty. Well, we made it through the show. I don't know if our live feed to Twitter actually made it through the show, or X. My throat's dry. I haven't done this in a while. I got to get back in practice. So I'm going to have to like marathon podcast a little bit. Or I won't be ready for prepper camp. All that talking. I'll have no voice by the end. All right, guys, get your tickets to prepper camp. Speaking of, it is
tickets and your lodging set up.
It is end of August this year.
And it's a cool place. You can actually go early and do a vacation or stay late and do a vacation.
Yeah, we always come in a little bit early.
It's awesome. I mean, there's a ton of stuff to do in and around this area.
That's so cool. I know. Yeah, we're so spoiled. We're definitely glampers this year, for sure. I'm not even bringing my trailer. We're staying in the hotel. Yeah. Because then Brock doesn't have to worry about driving. Anyway, get your tickets to Prepper Camp, preppercamp.com, and we'll see you out there. Thanks for being here, listening to the Changing Earth News. If you guys ever want to get a hold of me, you can do so at changingearthseries.com. Check out the new videos. Give a like. Share them with your friends. I really appreciate all that. Check out the music we got going. It's really neat. I've been doing Americana blends, you know, and some cool constitutional songs and stuff like that. So all freedom based. And if that's your shtick like it is mine, you're gonna love it. Season 5, tentatively, I have 3 more videos to finish up, and I'm caught up. So then season 5, I'm still talking April, maybe mid-April. I might need a little break. I've been hitting it really hard, and my family's like, okay, We need some time too. These videos take some time. But, I'm still thinking middle of April. Everybody's super excited to see what happens to Erica next. I've been getting lots of, people contact me. You can't leave us hanging there. So I'm sorry. I needed to get caught up, but we are talking like, middle of April for season 5 to be coming out. And then once I get that under control, we're going to be doing the Las Vegas Years, my new book, on the podcast here. I'm going to have to nag Chin into spending some more Sundays with me. But that is coming down the pipeline. So, and you can get a hold of Chin if you want, info on any of the cert stuff, your Mesh-tastic and all the comms. Oh my gosh, way over my head. You've got to contact Chin for that one. Mm-hmm. Go to ChangingEarth, series.com, same shtick. You go to the contact, there's a contact for Chin, and there's also a contact for me on there as well. And we love to hear from you guys. Support the show.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for coming, Chin. I appreciate you taking the time, man.
You bet.
All right, guys. Until next time, remember, dream,
survive,
thrive.
Thank you for listening to the Changing Earth podcast. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and leave a comment or a review. Help make the Changing Earth world go around by purchasing the Changing Earth novel series at Amazon.com or get your signed copies at ChangingEarthSeries.com. Get your Changing Earth gear and become a paid subscriber for extra goodies at ChangingEarthSeries.com.